What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Metal Ear channel, and today we got a huge announcement. Metal L2 will be integrating Uniswap v3. We are pleased to announce Oku Trade have submitted a proposal to Metal DAO to integrate Uniswap v3 on Metal L2. The proposal includes MTL to go towards an incentive program to be matched by a Uniswap DAO proposal. Making our way over to the dashboard, we can see the proposal and what the description is. Introduction. Dear Metal DAO community, we are pleased to submit this proposal for integrating the Uniswap v3 protocol on the Metal L2 blockchain, facilitated by Oku. Our goal is to enhance the Metal L2 ecosystem by introducing advanced decentralized exchange DEX functionalities, thereby improving liquidity and trading capabilities for our users. To achieve this, we propose the following. Integration costs, $45,000 for initial integration and $5,000 monthly for 12 months post-launch. Liquidity bootstrap. Allocation of 250,000 MTL tokens for liquidity provisioning, managed by Metallicus. Incentives matching. Allocation of 250,000 MTL tokens for liquidity incentives to be matched by the Uniswap DAO. In the event that the Uniswap governance proposal is unsuccessful, these funds will be returned to the Metal DAO. Now, just for a quick overview about Oku. Oku specializes in integrating Uniswap v3 developments across various EVM compatible chains. We provide a seamless interface and backend support to ensure users can efficiently access Uniswap's functionalities. Oku was built by GFX Labs and made possible thanks to a Uniswap Foundation grant. Oku launched in July 2023 and recently celebrated its first birthday. Over the last year, the team has conducted nearly 24 deployments of Uniswap v3 and has played a key role in expanding Uniswap v3 to new ecosystems such as Base and Binance Smart Chain on behalf of the DAO. You guys could read the rest if you want, but as you can see by the current results over here on the right hand side, this proposal has passed.
Cool. So yeah, welcome along everyone. It's our we haven't done a space in a while from I don't think any of the Metallicus accounts. So yeah, this is nice to get on stage and have a yarn and kind of give everyone a bit of an update of what's been going on. I think we'll probably start off with a brief intro about Metal L2 for anyone that's, I guess, new and listening to this, learning about Metal L2 for the first time. Then I'll let Giddy introduce Oku Trade. And yeah, then we can talk about the very exciting proposal on the Metal DAO. So yeah, let's kick things off. So I think we can hear you, Giddy. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Beauty, awesome. So yeah, welcome along to this space. For those that are new to Metal L2 or the Metallicus ecosystem, the Metallicus, our sort of main mission is, for those that don't know, is connecting traditional finance with decentralized finance. And we have been on a mission for quite some time. Metallicus started in 2016 with a product called MetalPay, which is a custodial wallet that allows you to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency. Metallicus is also deployed a layer 1 blockchain, which everyone knows is XPR network, layer 0 blockchain, which is called Metal blockchain, which if you've been following Metal blockchain, you'll see we've been working very closely with credit unions on connecting traditional finance with decentralized finance. But we recently expanded our network to include the EVM world, I guess, a bit more closely. Obviously, the Ethereum and the EVM and DeFi world of DeFi on Ethereum is just it's the standard, right? It's the biggest market. It's where everyone goes to do their trading and DeFi and things. So Metallicus obviously wants to be a part of that and help connect, the traditional finance to the exciting world of EVM and trading on Ethereum. So we deployed Metal L2 on the Optimism superchain, and so that came off the back of the Metal DAO. So Metal DAO is recently had a proposal to deploy the Metal L2 on the superchain, and part of that was a DAO fund for exciting endeavors like bringing on new DEXs and dApps and working with partners and protocols to expand our presence in the EVM DeFi world. So we recently caught up with Giddy from Oku Trade, and I'll let them introduce themselves and we'll go from there, right?
Thank you, Paul, for teeing that up, and thanks for the intro on Metal. It's kind of fun, Oku supports a lot of different chains in our application. We've been growing a lot over the last year, but there's a few of these chains that we particularly I particularly like, and I think Metal is quickly becoming on my top list of them because it's these OG communities that have been around since way before even like DeFi was much of a thing. With you guys launching originally Metal Pay, and I remember all the stuff back in the original ICO boom that you guys were doing. It's fun to see these projects continue to grow and expand over time. And crypto is such a wild industry because it evolves so rapidly that it's hard for any company, let alone one that's been from the early days, to really adapt to the industry and continue to strike well. So I'm excited to work with Metal and get Oku live over there and introduce people to some more fun DeFi things and the EVM world, which is obviously very exciting. So I guess to dive in then to Oku, for folks who aren't familiar, if you're just listening here and you're at your desk and you have a computer nearby, feel free to go to oku.trade and just punch in, and you can see our site. We support 22 blockchains a day. We've been expanding across a lot over the last year. But what's really fun about Oku is actually it was developed by our parent company over here, GFX Labs, about 2 years ago. We were big Uniswap delegates and some other delegates and other protocols. We were kind of the top contributor to Uniswap governance, and about 2 years ago, we were faced with this problem at Uniswap that was, Uniswap is a fantastic DEX. We're across a number of chains at the time, but the DEX space was getting crowded and more chains were coming online, and Coinbase and Binance and these major exchanges were still dominating the trading world. And we're like, how do we close this gap? How do we get folks actually off of Binance? At the time, we were talking a lot about FTX before it blew up. How do we get people off of FTX and onto the DeFi alternative? And it came down to just like, we have to be real about the status quo of things. Trading on Coinbase and these centralized exchanges is really nice. The user experience is fantastic. They've invested tons and tons of resources to make that great user experience and be so globally supported. The only thing we can do as an industry to get more people to come and use DeFi apps is to work on closing that UX gap. And that's really what Oku's been focused on. So if you go to Oku today, you're going to see We offer swapping, bridging, and on-off ramping for euros and dollars. And in addition to that, we of course have all the core primitives of being a Uniswap V3 project. So about a year and a half ago, to get this whole thing going, the Uniswap Foundation actually awarded us a grant to build the MVP and build kind of a pro interface for Uniswap V3. So if you go to our position maker page in the application, you'll see how folks are able to provide liquidity in there. And then if you go over to our actual like pro page, you can see real information on specific pools. And then of course we have the entirety of Oku Analytics, which offers robust analytics on Uniswap V3 pools, tokens, traders on those things, etc. We even have limit orders that are going to be available built directly on top of Uniswap V3. So we offer this really robust whole platform now for users. We've really grown substantially over the last year to be much more than just a Uniswap V3 interface. But that is kind of like our core like mandate at the same time is we want to expand Uniswap, the canonical protocol, to a lot of places. And now I know for listeners, I will hit the nail on the head here. It can be a little confusing at times that, you know, these guys, are they a Uniswap fork? Are they representative of the actual Uniswap? And what's kind of unique about us is we don't actually run any forks. Every single Uniswap V3 deployment that exists are canonical deployments on our interface. Now, if you go to the uniswap.org website, you'll see they support a number of chains. If you go to our website, you'll see we support quite a few. It's kind of up to these front ends that exist, the Uniswap Labs team and ours, to decide which chains we're going to support. It takes time and effort to integrate these chains, index all the information, provide that great user experience, etc. We've really made it a priority to expand new chains along with the DAO support, Uniswap's DAO support, and being core delegates. This is what we do. We always support actual deployments of the official Uniswap V3 contracts and nothing else. So hopefully that clears up some things. Hopefully that gets a lot of folks some quick context in Oku. There's definitely a lot more to unpack, which I look forward to doing. But yeah, hopefully that kind of sets the stage.
I think the really exciting thing about Oku Trade is it's so much more than just like a standard swap interface, right? You've got limit orders, you've got you can make your market orders. There's so many features. It's the full DeFi experience, right?
I mean, exactly. So, I mean, that's really right. If you go, of course, every chain's a little different, but we have on the swap interface, not just the universal router, which is Uniswap's kind of infrastructure. We also support 7 different other routing systems. So the key thing here is, as much as we love Uniswap, we want to support it, and we think that is the place where if people want to provide liquidity and they want to make markets, that's where they should be doing it. But at the end of the day, if a user wants to get a trade done, they're going to want to get the best price possible, regardless of where it's going to. And we want to make sure that users feel safe and good about those trades. And so our interface hooks up 8 different order routing solutions to make sure we can get the best fill for people. And then on the bridging side, which is really fantastic, and I look forward to working with the Metal DAO and getting bridges set up, since this is a really important part about establishing any new chain is the inflow of assets. When we kept going to all these new chains, I was going between like 5 different websites, 6 different websites to figure out how to bridge there, which was the best price. And yes, there are a couple good aggregators in the industry for this stuff, but they don't do a good job supporting new chains. And this is something that we've, again, prioritized as a team. So we built our own bridge aggregator so that we actually support 11 different bridging systems right now. So that way we can really make sure, hey, folks can quickly and easily figure out the best way to get assets from point A to point B in a really transparent, useful way with a lot of extra information if they want that extra information, or just a really simple view if they don't need the rest of it. So yeah, a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's really quite incredible what you guys have built in such a short amount of time. Yeah, and if for those listening, if you haven't given it a try, jump on there, try working with, say, Optimism or Base, and try the interface, try trading. It's a very, very powerful front end to Uniswap V3, and I'm really excited that Oku see the vision, Metallica's vision for connecting traditional finance with the exciting world of DeFi. And we want to make it really easy for people to on-ramp, off-ramp, and do all the things they need to do.
Exactly. Well, the one-stop shop that can get people all their actions done in DeFi. And then, as kind of Paul, you mentioned here for folks who are listening, the platform has grown a lot over the last year. And what I mean by that specifically is, if we've grown as much as we have over the last year, who knows what this platform is going to look like a year from now too. So we're not we're not at all anywhere close to the end of what features and offerings we want to have for users. There's a lot that's going to be coming into the platform, and this is the beauty of kind of what the platform we offer is it's always growing. And on top of that, we're really prioritize user feedback. So if any of you, even right now, as you're trying out the application or looking at Oku, if you ever have hey, this little thing doesn't seem quite right, it should be this way or that way, feel free to hop into our Discord and make that suggestion. Or on the flip side, be like, hey, I think you should do this gigantic new thing. Why don't you guys support perps? I think you guys should support perps. Whatever it is, we love getting user feedback. That's ultimately what really drives how we make decisions about what problems we want to solve for folks, is when people tell us those problems and we'll get them done. So feel free to reach out into our Discord and drop that information at any time. And particularly once we get live on Metal, if you have any gripes about what we're doing and how to improve, the only way we can get better is with that feedback, and we strive to listen to everyone.
Yeah, I got to say, working with yourself and the Oku team's been really enjoyable, and the Oku trade team are very accessible. So yeah, definitely, I've enjoyed my experience working with them. So yeah, you guys are great. Let's talk a little bit about the proposal to deploy on Metal L2. Now, I really appreciate you guys coming through with that. It's always great when the deploying DApp or DEX or protocol or whatever actually makes the proposal themselves on the DEX. And I think it's a very quite a solid proposal here. Should we maybe run through a little bit about the proposal, what the incentive program is and what that means for users, and a little bit about the liquidity provisioning, and I guess, kind of what's involved would be a good place to start, I guess. Maybe should we talk about the objectives, maybe, to start off with?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can go through all this. I think, for folks, the key thing is we want to make sure we offer a robust interface that hits all the core needs in DeFi, right? Not only just for trading, but actually bridging. As I kind of mentioned, we've gone to new chains before. What's been really critical is to make sure that getting assets on and off the chain is something that needs to be solved out. So that's a key vertical that we want to make sure Oku can solve. And once assets are there, how do we make sure we can establish, robust markets for assets as well? If folks want to trade meme coins, awesome. Let's make sure we can support that. If folks want to trade metal token on here, we definitely need to support that too. Whatever it may be, we want to make sure we get that functionality, all that base level stuff sorted out. And then, as kind of Paul mentioned, not only are we doing market orders, but we also offer limit orders on any of our Uniswap V3 pools as well. So a nice piece of functionality there. Now, as far as the liquidity provisioning here, we've kind of done two things. One is there's a bucket of 250,000 MTL tokens going to go towards initially, getting some bootstrapping going for some pools. Whenever you launch a new kind of DEX, it's nice to have. You don't need a ton of liquidity on Uniswap V3 to get going, but it's nice to have something to allow for liquidity to flow, trades to begin to flow, something to kind of kickstart the market. I like to call it exceed liquidity often. It's just enough to get the flywheel moving. So these tokens are going to go towards the first kind of batch of liquidity provisioning. And then the second batch is going to go towards hopefully a matching program with the Uniswap DAO. So ours our role over at Uniswap, and we do a lot of governance proposals over there. We started this program called the Uniswap Revitalization and Growth Program. Uniswap recognized that there's a lot of new chains coming online, and the DAO wanted to make sure that we could support new chains and kind of find ways to partner with people more formally. And so the DAO has been working with a number of chains to say, hey, if you come to the forums and you can make an ask and say, hey, let's get $250,000 worth of Uniswap token incentives. And typically, it's not a one size fits all, but typically the DAO will look favorably if the proposer says, hey, we'll match the incentives, and it becomes kind of like a 1-to-1. So the hope is that with this proposal up, we'll get the interface going, we'll get the pools seeded with that initial 250, and then we'll set aside this other 250 to hopefully be matched with Uniswap. So not the end of the world if that does not end up happening, but I feel pretty good about the state of that initiative as it currently stands. Paul, do you think I'm skipping over anything else here?
No, this is great. I think maybe for some context, we just quickly run over like the Uniswap DAO, where it kind of fits into this.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I mentioned, right, all real deployments that are within Oku, as far as when you deploy DEX, is the canonical Uniswap V3 deployment. So the Uniswap DAO has been deploying to a number of new chains over the last year. Really, what the DAO has done is, for those who are kind of OGs on here, will remember Uniswap V2 well. Uniswap released V2 is revolutionary AMM protocol. And what kind of ends up happening is it only launches on Ethereum. And that's okay when there was really just the one chain. And then there start to be this new EVM chains coming online. And V2 really never gets deployed anywhere. And we start to see some forks of Uniswap V2, right? There's countless of forks that end up happening, SushiSwap probably being the most notable one. And you get PancakeSwap and these others. And we end up bleeding a lot of market share. That was pretty unnecessary just because there wasn't a great growth effort to expand to new chains. And so a lot of V2 clones kind of popped off. What our hope was as a DAO with this revitalization and growth program with V3 is to kind of try to avoid that best possible. Now, there's already a lot of Uniswap V3 forks that exist, but if we can get Uniswap onto new chains early on before they've substantially grown, then it doesn't cost a ton to get things going and get substantiated there, an early way to take a bet on chain. And so Uniswap's kind of been allocating somewhere between $250,000 up to $1 million worth of token incentives, about, I think, across about a dozen chains at this point. So you can almost think about it like a DAO, almost like operating a little like a VC, where it's making like little bets all over the place, and hopefully a few of these chains from the Uniswap DAO's perspective go on to become much larger chains. And so where the hope is awesome. That with Metal can apply for that same program and get those matching incentives.
That's exciting. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the incentive program, the 250,000 metal tokens for liquidity incentives. From like a very simple point of view, how can metal holders take advantage of that incentive? Like, what do they actually need to do when this goes live? Right? What do they do in simple terms?
Yeah, no, great question. So, for those who are familiar with liquidity providing, right, pretty much what you're doing is you're putting actually Uniswap V3 one or two assets in a pool to help make a market and supply liquidity for folks who are trading. What the incentives are going to go towards are kind of incentivizing that behavior. We want a robust, deep market to occur on Metal, and we ideally want it to occur across a number of assets, not just Ethereum, USDC, hopefully multiple. And so there's a big platform that's been running a lot of the Uniswap related incentives called Angle Merkle. So for those of you who are already familiar with Uniswap V3 and you're a popular LP, you're already probably familiar with this, but this is the infrastructure that the Uniswap DAO has been using all over the place to say, hey, we want to allocate some incentives to LP providers in these pools. And then what Merkle does is they actually run kind of an off-chain process, which is super nice. Users don't actually need to stake any of their liquidity or their NFTs, any of the stuff. Nothing needs to be transferred from your wallet. You keep it in all your possession. You don't have to touch any of their smart contracts. And the Merkle, you go to their website and you can claim rewards on your positions, and it'll show you kind of a nice little stats on your existing ones. If you want to try this out now in preparation for all this going live soon, you can go on Merkle's site right now. I think there's a number of incentives running across a few chains and actually other super chains, I believe, as well. Test it out, get familiar such that when Metal goes up, you can be off to the races. And if you also have any questions in detail about how to optimize this stuff and give it a try, feel free to hop into our Discord, and I'm happy to chat with folks.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I hope everyone's managed to keep up with this. We are recording the space, so you'll be able to go through and listen to it again. But I think so. People were obviously pretty motivated by this proposal. We're looking at 4.42% of the 3% quorum being hit. Obviously, for those that are metal holders and they've got their metal in sitting on the XPR network, you can go to gov.xprnetwork.org and go to the Metal DAO community and have your vote, have your say. And I think this is it's looking good. So what are essentially the next steps that'll be involved? Because the looks like the proposal is going to close on the 26th of October. So what can we expect in terms of steps after that? Like after the close of the proposal, what's involved? What's kind of like a rough timeline?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen faster than folks expect. Typically, once these deployments are, once we're in the trenches, actually doing the legwork here, we're going to deploy all the canonical Uniswap v3 smart contracts. We've done that across almost 24 deployments now. I mean, even deployments like the Uniswap v3 base deployment, the Binance Smart Chain deployment, really any ones you've seen in the last 12 months have largely been us deploying those contracts. So we'll get all the contracts deployed. We're going to hook them up, verify them on your guys' Block Explorer, make sure everything is matching one for what we expect it to be, and that there's absolutely no changes from the canonical smart contracts. Once we do that, we'll hook them up into our backend. So what's really nice about the Oku platform is we're really not reliant on any third-party infrastructure. We've done a lot of the legwork ourselves, which has been a lot of work, but it makes it a bit easier for us then in the end to do these deployments since we've put in a lot of extra effort. We just plug in a few RPCs, we start to index the chain, get those contracts hooked up. We like to budget about a week for all this, and then week 2 for us will actually be testing out the front end, hooking up the front end with the chain, making sure the limit orders are functioning, all the fun bits and bobs, token list is updated, we got logos, etc. And we'll probably do some testing with the Metal team. Who knows? Maybe we'll even drop some front end staging links and some public chats if other users want to play around with it before we go totally public. Nice. And yeah, about overall, it's like not much longer than maybe 2 weeks to get the whole thing up and going from when this governance proposal closes.
Wow! So early Christmas present for Middle DAO, for the Middle DAO for middle holders. Very exciting. Yeah, I guess that pretty much covers most things. I think. I see Will's here. Welcome to the stage, Will.
Hey! Thanks for having me. I've just been sat back enjoying the chat, Getty. So we're really excited to have you deploy on Metal L2. Exciting times.
Yeah, likewise. We're looking forward to working with an OG project such as yourselves.
Thanks. It's nice. We often refer to ourselves as the silent killers. We've been building in the background for a long time now, and it's really good to connect to these really native Web3 projects like Oku, and we really enjoy what you're doing. I look after marketing at Metallicus, and something that really picked out that I really liked was the hoodie initiative on Oku Trade. Would love it if you could give the guys listening just a bit of an overview of how that works. It's I love how seamless the UI and kind of like the process is for that whole thing, and I think there seems like some synergy that we could probably learn from on that. So yeah, if you could give an overview on that, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great call, and I should have mentioned that. So for folks who have been dabbling a little in DeFi, they've probably seen, of course, projects that have done airdrops or projects doing point programs, and we really wanted to do something to foster community within Oku, but at the same time, for folks who know me, I'm a little of anti-points. I just think, it's important to actually deliver something back to users. And so we wanted to do something a little extra fun and decided that we would create this token called Hoodie. It's live on Base. And pretty much what we do is 1,000 hoodie tokens can be converted for a physical Oku hoodie that we will mail to you virtually anywhere in the world. So we actually mailed quite a few of these, and there's a lot of hoodies in the office here. And what we do is about every month or so, we go back through and look at all the kind of power users on Oku, folks who have been trading some good volume and doing a lot of bridges, etc., and airdrop a bunch of hoodie tokens out to folks, and then they can come to our interface and swap those hoodie tokens for physical hoodie. And I will say, I took special care. I'm like picky about my crypto merch. I took special care to make sure the hoodies are very nice and very comfy, and most importantly, not some ugly, crazy thing that you do not want to wear in public. They're a very simple, good, cozy hoodie. Way too much crypto merch in the closet.
I love the design. The design's amazing. It's steezy as it's very cool.
No fruit of the loom there.
No, not at all. These are real comfy. The team regularly wears these like every day. It's like practically our unofficial uniform. So yeah, we'll definitely be getting those to a number of Metal users. And actually, I would say follow the Oku Twitter and stay along, because we regularly on our Twitter or on Farcast or live cross on DBank as well. We're often kind of doing little surprise drops for these hoodies, hoodie coins and such. Or if you're someone who just says like, screw it, I want myself an Oku hoodie, you can also just buy the coins. That is part of the lovely part of them being just a token. A market exists as well, so you can either earn them or buy them, up to you.
It's a great. How did you do that? I guess GIF / 3D hoodie. That's insane.
Yeah, we've got a number of folks in our kind of repertoire that we can go to when we need to generate either fun kind of promo videos or some animations and stuff or graphics. So just not a lot of people, and I mean we haven't been in the space as long as Metal, but I went full time in crypto, and my background's in trading actually. Back in 2018, worked for a Chicago trading firm for about 3.5 years, and then when we started GFX, we just crossed our 3rd-year birthday. So Oku itself might only have been live for a little more than a year now, but GFX has been around for about 3.5 years, and I've been in the industry for a while. So we've seen a lot of things. We know a lot of people. It's nice.
All right, Giddy, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm really, really excited about the deployment on Metal L2. I know both teams are absolutely locked in right now. We've got meetings on the in about 2 minutes. So yeah, I we'll skip the Q&A today, but like Giddy said, if you've got any questions, hit Oku Trade Up, hit myself up, and yeah, we'll see you on the timeline.
Great. Thanks for hosting, Paul. Thank you, everyone from Metal. We're excited working with you guys.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Alright guys, that's the end of the video. What do you think about Uniswap v3 coming to Metal L2? And what do you think that's going to do for the Metallicus ecosystem as a whole? Let me know down in the comment section down below. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.